Okay, those just joining, make sure and post a greeting in the chat room. We'll get started here in just a moment. Okay, those just joining, make sure and post a greeting in the chat room for roll. We'll get started here in a moment. All right, well, good morning, everybody. We'll go and get started. This is week 7. We're going to be going over the week's material this week, what to do and everything. So Tuesday Zoom will be posted here in the Tuesday Zoom. Week 7 reading materials. This week is Chapter 4 only from the TIA Technology in Action e-text on application software programs that let you work and play. As always, there's a supplemental video and PowerPoint. I'll be going over the PowerPoint here in just a moment. And let's go over the calendar for this week. So October 3rd is the coming Sunday. And you got Chapter 4, Check Your Understanding, Part 1. Chapter 4, End of Chapter Quiz. And Chapter 4, IT SIM Application Software. Make sure, as always, before you attempt any of these, that you've done the reading and the e-text. To get to the e-text, I'll go there again. You'll go to the course materials. Technology in Action 17E. E-text, and then e-text to get to the Chapter 4 reading. Questions on what's due Sunday? Okay, I'll go ahead and bring up the PowerPoint then. I'm going to go through a few slides here. So, software when it comes to computers is like Microsoft Office, Adobe Acrobat, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel. And so, software would be like your operating system, Windows operating system, Mac operating system, Linux operating system. But software in and of itself, whether it's software for application like Microsoft Office stuff or Adobe stuff versus system software being an operating system like Windows or Mac or Linux. Software in general, the definition is just a set of instructions that programmers tell a computer what to do. Now, I've been a programmer myself for over 20 years and created a lot of apps and taught programming here on campus for 20 years. And it's a very basic tool. Now, it can become complex, but the concept is basic, is that you write a program, a software program, to do something. It could be play music, it could be write a research paper, it could be a number of things, collect data for medical research, whatever it might be, to even point of sale systems at stores where you shop at. And so basic types of software, though. You have application and system software. Application software, like I mentioned earlier, is things like Microsoft Office, Adobe Acrobat Reader, iTunes, things like that. Even Netflix is an application software. System software, again, is generally the operating system a computer runs on, whether it be a tablet, a PC, or Mac. So the way it works as far as software basics is you have to create it first. And so two ways software developers can create software. One is commercially, where it's proprietary and it's unique for a unique business, or for sale on an app store, or it's open source and totally free. The ways that can be distributed is locally. The developer can install it on a computer, laptop, desktop, tablet, phone, or it can be what's called software as service, where you pay for a service like Microsoft Office 365, and it allows you to run that app. It can actually be ran a lot of times in the cloud. And then subscription would be things like Apple Music, Netflix, things like that, where you have a monthly subscription fee. So when it comes to purchasing software, you can download it from the web. Generally, today is how it's done. And the screenshot here gives an App Store link to Google or iOS. You can apply student discounts generally. And again, some of it's freeware, some of it's beta version, some of it you have to pay for. Some of it's called built-in costing, where it's add-on. So it might be freeware when you download it, but you might be able to purchase upgrades within the app. In-app purchases, I believe is what it's called. But when it comes to software, as far as general installation and uninstalling software on your computer, you're going to have system requirements. You could have a restore point where when you install an app, it creates a restore point. That way, if something fails, you can roll back that installation. You also have installations where you can do full installation of an app, custom installation of an app. You could also recover from a computer crash and or uninstall software, or recovery of drive. So these are some terminologies when it comes to software installation. So when you have a software installed on your phone or tablet or computer, you could have updates periodically. Now, if it's a software service like through the cloud, like through Office 365 or something, you're not going to worry about updates because it's outside of your system. It's outside of your computer or your tablet or your phone. Then you have those on your system. Those could be automatically updated from your computer, laptop, desktop, phone. You also have to determine, is it cost effective when it comes to software upgrades? And a lot of times it is, because you pay a one-time fee for the software and then you get free upgrades afterwards. And then between upgrades, you do have updates a lot of times between upgrades. So say you have a version 1.0 on a software package you download, and a month later you have a version 1.1. Okay, that would be the upgrade. But in between 1.0 and 1.1, you could have updates like bug fixes, patches, things like that fix things within the software. As far as licenses go, by law, every software that's free or paid on an app store is going to have some type of EULA, which is an end user license agreement that people have to accept or agree. And it usually states the following: who owns the app, copies allowed, number of installations allowed, and any warranties, and then copyright theft protection. Then you've got productivity software. Productivity software would be like Office, Microsoft Office, Apple's iWork, open source like LibreOffice, web-based like Office 365 Online, Google Suite, Zoho, ThinkFree. Some of the productivity software that we've already mentioned already: word processing that helps you create research papers, class notes, resumes. An example of these type of application software would be Word, Microsoft Word. Writer would be an example as well. Spreadsheet like Excel, where you can enter in text and values and formulas and functions like we've worked on. Presentation software like PowerPoint, where you can include images, videos, sound, and animation. Database software like Microsoft Access, where you can plug in data and using fields and records and tables. Or note taking like Evernote, Audio Note, Simple Note, Notability. These are all popular apps on phones and tablets and computers. And then managing your day through calendars like Outlook, web-based calendars like Yahoo, Google, or other apps like Toodle-Do or OmniFocus. When it comes to collaboration, there's software like the one we're using today. Zoom is a popular one. Teams, Slack, and Trello allows remote teams to connect together. And then personal finance, like TurboTax. Small business software, like for accounting, desktop publishing, like Adobe Suite, web authoring software that Adobe offers as well. And then there's also software for large and specialized businesses that's specifically designed for that business. An example would be AutoCAD, that does 3D rendering designs for buildings and architecture and pieces of machinery. And multimedia, educational software that you can play music, videos, and such, computer games, animation, movies. Imaging software to edit images and videos, like Adobe Suite, like Adobe, Photoshop. Adobe also has, a number of video editing tools built into it as well. And then drawing tools, digital audio software, app creation software, educational software. And then finally, educational software that you're allowed to download from the web to play things like music files, audiobooks, podcasts. App creation software. I've used a number of these over the years to teach developing students on how to create apps. One is App Inventor by MIT, the one that's showing here. Thunkable's a nice one. It's pretty cool. Corona, Unity, RPG Maker. These are all Unity and RPG Maker are game creators, developing platforms. But I would recommend if you want to play around with one, Thunkable's a fun one to play with. You can just Google that and find it, and it doesn't cost anything to create apps. And then other educational references, examples would be like test preparation, simulation, like we use in our IT lab for this class, home design and improvement, course management software, and genealogy. So that's week 7 on chapter 4. And again, that's your reading. Make sure, as always, do the reading before you attempt to do the assignments, which I'll bring up again on the assignment calendar before we're done. So we're looking at October 3rd, which I believe is the following Sunday. And chapter 4, check your understanding, part 1. End of chapter 4 quiz and simulation application software. I did send an email to everybody because there was an issue with chapter 3 IT sim. Some students have an issue. So if you did attempt the program or the software simulation last week through my lab IT and was having a hard time, I was able to just give everybody 100% that it did attempt it. And so if you did attempt it and you didn't do so great, you did get 100%. All right. If you did not attempt it, you still have a 0. So make sure and go back and go to last week's IT sim for chapter 3 if you did not do that. But I did give everyone 100% that did attempt chapter 3 IT sim. And so make sure and check your grade on that. If you do have any late grades that you've added, shoot me an email once you've posted those on my lab IT so I can go in and grade those. Any questions before we're done? All right, we'll go ahead and post a goodbye in the chat if you want to, or you can open up your audio and say it, but that's all we've got this week. And have a great week. We'll see you next week.